Now, I know y'all probably like, well, she didn't post it. It's 9 o'clock at night. But I had to post this while it's top of mind. I was ready for bed. I had my bonnet on. And I said, oh, no, I got to go and talk to the people while this is fresh on my mind. My first ask of y'all is y'all need to start paying attention to what's happening in y'all city. Because by the time y'all start paying attention, the ship going to sail. It's going to be too late. Ain't going to be no coming back. And y'all, it's going to be too late. Y'all gonna be in the council chambers yelling for people to resign. They gonna be all moved on to their next position, whatever they gonna do. I'm telling you that right now. Things are not going well in this city. I'm just telling you. Go pay attention to the council meetings. Go review the budget. All the small things. I'm telling y'all right now. But let's stay focused. So, an item on the agenda tonight for council was regarding using the reserve fund to, I think it was the, pump station, a vehicle. So the reserve fund is like a fund that every city has. It's kind of like the state of Texas rainy day fund. You can use it. It's set aside for rainy days. One of the biggest things is like we have to have money to pay for retirees. Like we have to always pay for them. So if we ever need to have money that the general fund can't cover, we can go into reserves. If we need to purchase something on a one-time basis, emergency basis, we can use the reserve fund. Well, today on the agenda, it mentioned something about using the funds for cost of living adjustment for staff and raises. Now last week, okay, the agenda came out. I saw that and I said, that's not allowed. You can't use those funds for cost of living adjustments in employees. It's not for current operations, right? But it also triggered me to say, why are you having to tap into the reserve to cover costs of employees, cost of living adjustments and raises? So here's the thing of the time. Let's think about the timeline. You spent $6 million on a church property that you have no idea or no plan to use. So there's $6 million gone. Then you just used $2.7 million to purchase Thorntree, which was not a need, in the middle of budget season when you're knowing you're going to need money for cost of living adjustment and raises for employees, but you went and spent that money anyway. Also, while in the middle of trying to find how you're going to fund the operations of the new rec center, the new natatorium, because that's going to require people and the hiring of new people. So you have to dip into the reserve right now to cover raises and cost of living adjustments. Where's all this other money going to come from, right? So I'm going to the meeting on Tuesday. Now I have board meeting on the same night as council night. So that really saves them a lot of time for me coming to speak at the meetings. But tonight it ended early. I'm going to go speak at the meeting on this item. But it was the last item on the agenda. And I was like, you know what? I'm not trying to be there that long. So I'm just going to watch the meeting. So I'm watching the meeting. Y'all bear with me now. I'm watching the meeting. So when it gets to that item, the finance, I think she's the assistant finance director right now because our CFO left in May or June, right in the middle of budget season. Something else I bet you guys didn't know. Right in the middle of the budget, the CFO left. So she's reading the staff report and she leaves that entire line out. She leaves it out. She doesn't even read about the COLA, the 2% COLA, cost of living adjustments, and the 3.5% raises. She doesn't even read it. I'm like, was I chewing my ice too loud? Did I miss her saying it? So I'm thinking I just missed her saying it. Well, then Dr. Marks, former council member Dr. Dinah Marks, gets up there and about to speak on this item. One of the things that she said was that the young lady didn't mention that in the staff report and her concern about using that, the reserve, to cover the cost of living adjustments and increases, because that's something that staff is going to be looking for year after year. And if we're having to dip into reserve because we don't have the money, why is there no conversation about other cuts? Because again, if you all look at the budget, there's a lot of pomp and circumstance. Y'all council and mayor, they love to have brunches, lunches, dinners, very performative. They like to spend money on a whole bunch of performative things. There's a lot of travel, all of that in the budget. But we're dipping into reserves for, okay. So she finished talking and then Nicole Raphael speaks. So after they say all that, Councilwoman Parker asks a question because she's confused about the language being used, right? And I'm tracking with her because I'm confused as well. So then Rachel comes and says, "Oh well, whatever she said about let's stay on topic." But Parker's question was really on topic, but she was tracking somewhere that the mayor wasn't trying to go. That's why she tried to bring her back. And so then they read something, and it says, "We're freeing up general funds in the reserve for things such as cost of living adjustments and raises." And I'm like, that's not what that said. If I would have read it that way, I wouldn't have even thought to come and speak at a council meeting. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm starting to look through. I'm like, okay, I download documents when they put the agenda up. I download it to review it. I screenshot things. I know that's not what it says. So I'm looking, and I found it. They changed the staff report language tonight for the agenda. See, they know y'all don't read that stuff. So they changed it, the language. But I had gotten screenshot of what they posted when they originally posted. So they changed the language to say such as, to make it appear like they're using it as an example. And the mayor read that. That's why it says such as cola rate. No. That's not what it originally said. And that's not what it said when y'all put it on the agenda. But see, I got the screenshot. It says specifically, this is the word language it used. It used the word specifically for cost of living adjustment and 3.5% increase or raises or whatever it meant. That's the language it used originally. Then people started talking about it in the groups, posting about it. They were getting emails about it. I know they were getting emails because a lot of you all, well, not you all, but some of you blind copied me on emails. So they were getting emails about it, right? And they wouldn't change the language. They wouldn't change the language on the item for the use of the reserve funds. Right up under everyone's nose. And if I had not been paying attention and I read that and I knew that would trigger me to be like, I'm going to go talk to this council meeting. There's no way. I wouldn't have thought anything about it. That's what they're doing now. They're changing the language in order to get things passed. In order to confuse, and by they, the city manager and whomever else he constructs, because the city manager, the city attorney, and the mayor are the ones that review the agenda. The language was changed. And what's interesting is I want to ask the young lady, the finance director, why did you not read that line? There's a reason why she omitted that when she read every word in that staff report except for that one line that was changed on the staff report. So in summation, I think I'm going on the edge and say DeSoto is broke. They got money because there's money in reserves and there's money here and there. But in city terms, they broke. Period. And Parker brought up a good point tonight. She's like, we were hiring people left and right when the new city manager came on board, creating new departments, doing all these things, creating new positions, spending money left and right, irresponsibly. And now the CFO left town in the middle of budget season, and we dipping into reserves when we have spent millions of dollars on things that we didn't have to. And they're still having conversations about where the money going to come from to operate the new natatorium. Even if they outsource it, where's the funding going to come to outsource it? Y'all better start paying attention.